Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. Yes, guys, I am going to torture you with my singing. I have a very special guest that I'm going to bring in a minute. I just want to welcome you all. She is unbelievable. She was featured in Daily Mail because of the bath salts, right? Well, I'm speaking as though she can answer it because I want to introduce you guys to Jennifer. She's really, really good. I've been following her for a while. So, and I was very, very thankful that she accepted to come today to give us some of her time. So, thank you very much. And we're going to introduce her. We're going to talk about quite a few things about the mess of Harry and Meghan. Many of you know that I'm a Catholic, that I'm not Opus Dei, but I am a Catholic. I believe in God. But you're not going to see me self-flagellating. I drink, uh, and I go to mass, but I go to mass I don't like to go on Sundays because that's when everybody goes. So I usually go on Thursdays. So, but it doesn't mean that, I'm not saying this to preach to anybody's because I've gotten so many emails recently about my religion. So, yes, I am a religious person, but I'm not a fanatic. Buenos días, Claudia Sala, tomando café. Yes, guys. And today, before I bring Jennifer in, I want you all to know, I don't know if you can see this cup here. Thank you, Claudia. I want you all to focus your energy today on Portugal winning because they're playing football today. And Cristiano, I want him to make it to the World Cup and I want him to win the World Cup. I'm actually going to be watching the show from one of my favorite TV channels, which is The Casual Fan. This Canadian guy that, is a young boy. But I mean, I love it because when the football game is ongoing, I mean, he makes his feelings very known. So it's like, it would be like me watching a football game. So yes, we're gonna watch Portugal. So I have all the posters that Claudia sent me from Cristiano. I have the two bags the two little pillows that she made with Cristiano's face. Yes. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a big Cristiano fan. And if you don't like it, I don't want to hear the messy word here. So without further ado, guys, hello, guys. We're gonna bring Jennifer in. So hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, Paula. I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I am so excited to see you, to have you. You're also a beautician, esthetician. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been an esthetician for over 20 years now, since 2004,
Oh,
and
wow.
a makeup artist as well. But now I am a stay-at-home full-time homeschooling mama, but I do still carry an active license and have the entire time.
Mm. So what do you mean? Like you do makeup and stuff?
Yeah, I actually started out in 2002 when I was living in Southern California. I went to a makeup school academy, and you don't technically need a professional license to do makeup. You can, just get started and usually apprentice with experienced makeup artists. But I just wanted to go to school and really hone my craft and learn what I was doing. And then in addition to that, I decided, you know what? I wanted to get my aesthetic license as well. So 2 years later, when I was living in Las Vegas, that's where I got my license to be an esthetician.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
wow. Is it difficult to get?
Not really. It's about 6 months of instruction, and a lot of it is kind of boring because you learn about bacterias and you learn about sanitation and disinfection procedures. I mean, it's important things, but I was just really interested to want to know about the skincare and the facials and the massage and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Guys, I'm gonna share Jennifer's channel because it's Simple Beauty, but you had it's here. I will also put the link up here so you guys can go subscribe to her. She does these amazing videos. Because how did you get into doing Meghan Markle videos?
I've been behind the scenes, Paula, following the saga pretty much since Megxit Community came on YouTube. My mom is born Canadian. She's now a US citizen, but she grew up in the Commonwealth. She grew up, my mom's going to be 86 in August. So she grew
Wow.
up singing God Save the King about George
Yeah.
the Sixth. So
Oh, wow.
had yeah, so we've had a love of the family our entire lives. I was 7 years old in 1981 watching Diana get married
Oh,
at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. So we've been following the saga. Let's just say that.
I remember,
Yeah.
when I was young, I remember I was, where was I? I think I was in El Salvador with my dad because he was posted. He used to be a mining engineer, and they would
Mhm.
post him in different countries, depending in Canada, from the mining companies. Um,
Yeah.
and we were in El Salvador, and I remember I got up to watch, and I was like, "Oh my God, what a beautiful princess!" It's like
No.
even the wrinkled dress was perfect. You know
I
why?
know. Why?
Because it's just show how naive she
Yeah.
was. Like
Yeah.
she wasn't that. This is how naive this woman was, and I mean the fact that she chose those, what you call it, the designers that were also new, that they couldn't
Yes.
foresee the type of material that they were going to use, so it wouldn't
Yes.
wrinkle. So I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it that it was wrinkled. I loved it. It was just so beautiful. It really exemplified how new she was to
Mhm.
everything.
And I think the designers, even in a later interview, said that they were aghast by how wrinkled the material was. They felt, oh my gosh, but she was 19 years old, Paula. She was a deer in the headlight. She was just literally a child, practically. And that gave that air of just, wow, like princess factor. She was just so beautiful and sparkly.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, that I was thinking about that because people think, it's hard because I grew up, I'm 56. I grew up in a time when I had my first cell phone when I was 33 years old, guys. And it was like this huge block. Uh, Guys, and even I'll tell you something. In 2008, I was stationed in Belgium. In 2008, we still didn't have like the kind of mobiles. I had a BlackBerry, but the pictures that you took were like crappy.
Grainy.
There was
Mhm.
nothing. I mean, you needed to buy that Apple thing from iPod, in order to listen to your music because you couldn't even watch it. Internet
Yeah.
wasn't such a big thing. I mean, the
Mhm.
internet has really progressed in a matter
Yeah.
of a few years. Even in 2013, you couldn't do the things that you're doing now. So this
No.
is hard for people who are now today to even think that the internet wasn't a thing. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Absolutely. And we got our news on the newsstands in the magazines or the newspapers or just watching television, and we got what they fed us. That was the narrative, and that's all we got.
Yeah, but back then you had like proper journalism. I
Oh, for
remember
sure.
when 60 Minutes used to be a ball breaking, busting thing, like they wanted to expose people. In this
Right.
climate today, we wouldn't have gotten Watergate. I don't know if many of you know what Watergate is, and on the chat, like, no, I'm serious. Some people don't know
Yeah.
what Watergate is, because
Yeah.
they don't, like, right now with everything with the release of JFK's papers of Martin Luther King, that they're still redacted.
Mhm.
People are nowadays more focused on saving face than on exposing the truth. So for me, Princess Diana, at 19, when people think of 19-year-olds, they think of 19-year-old now.
Right.
It's nothing like that. When I was 19, I mean, guys,
Yeah.
I was playing dirt. I was, running relays. I mean, I wasn't exposed to any of the things that, like, a 19-year-old back then.
Yeah.
It's not a 19-year. It's I think that a 19-year-old back then, and let's
You
keep
know
in
what?
mind that
Yeah.
Princess
Mhm.
Diana was sheltered too. She was
Yeah,
like,
Paula, you're absolutely right. And I think we show our age as Gen Xers when I said that, when I said she was a 19-year-old deer in
what do you mean?
headlights.
How old are you?
I was 51, March 7th.
Are you? I don't want to talk to you anymore. How do you look so young?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my mom is Ukrainian from Canada,
Oh,
and my dad is Mexican from Southern California. So maybe it's the
Mexican genes.
blend of the two. I don't know.
Mexican genes. Where's your mama? Your father or your mom is from Mexico?
My dad is fourth generation American, but he's Mexican American. Or sorry, he passed in 2000. But yeah,
Oh, I'm
my
so
dad
sorry.
was 100% Mexican, and my mom was 100% Ukrainian from Canada, first generation.
Oh wow, yeah. My dad, my grandfather was Yugoslavian. He was the first Yugoslavian to come to Canada. Yeah, he
Nice.
worked for the embassy.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. But it's so funny how things are because now tuberculosis is nothing. My dad told well, and I would tell me
Yeah.
about his father because he didn't see him die. Was he caught tuberculosis? And they put
Mm-hmm.
him on a train. And the last time he saw his father was when he was waving goodbye to them on a train because tuberculosis back then was deadly.
It was a
You
death
know,
sentence. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, that I we still haven't found where they buried him. So my grandmother was had to raise the two boys, and it was during the depression and everything. But it's just the reason why I'm talking about is to show how the times move. So when we talk about Princess Diana
Yeah.
being 19, a lot of people say, "Oh, but 19, that's a big girl."
Right. They think of today's 19-year-olds that are putting makeup on, getting plastic surgery to look 40 and dancing on TikTok. You're absolutely right.
I seem, and I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not approved, guys. I swear to God, I'm an animal partier. I mean, trust me, like I used to get out of my house and I would put like three underwears, my makeup, because you always have to have clean underwear, and my makeup and my toothbrush and dental floss. I've always done like that. And just go out. And I didn't know if I was gonna wake up in another country because that's how my friends were. They were very.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. The
It's okay, Paula.
the electricity went, so it came back. So stand by. Yeah, thank you, Ginger. No, but so what I want to say too, I forgot what we're talking about. This is the thing with age. I don't
Right.
even know.
No.
I mean, how can you look so young? I thought you were in your early 30s.
How much do I love you right now? Thank you.
Guys, for reals. I mean, no, I'm serious. You're just like Manuela. Manuela has this beautiful brand skin I'm using now. And it's called Isomer. She produces it in Canada. And
Yes, I
I
saw her on that live. Yeah, she's
no,
beautiful.
no, but I was shocked. But she also has Italian in her. Um,
Okay.
but also I've been using. You know what? I swear to you, I've been using. I don't recommend shit that I don't believe in. Okay, and that like I've been using that. She has this liquid around the eyes. I don't know if you
Mhm.
can see it. I mean, and it's like I had like really lots of fine lines around here and here,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and I'm terrified of needles, so I don't do Botox.
Is
You
it
know,
is it like a serum? Do you know what the particular active ingredient is for it or no?
Yeah, she has it on her website, but it's like a
Okay.
liquid Botox, right?
Oh,
But it's
nice.
just it's a little bottle, but I mean, with one drop, you really have, because I was stupid. I put like, oh, I'm gonna put, because you know how some products you have to put a lot of the product, so you run through
Yeah.
it really quickly. But
Yeah.
with her, literally I put like one drop, and then I go around here, and then I just put it here, and then here the thing for my jowls and my neck. It's
Yeah. The
looking so
neck,
much
everything.
better. But like like you, when I was 51, I was in Norway, guys. When I was doing my videos,
Mhm.
I didn't have this, and it happened. I kid you not. Within 2 3 months, this just went down. I was shocked. So so
Yeah.
I don't know.
It, it is scary. I mean, when I hit 40, my vision started to go a little bit, and then it was like clockwork. At 50, I was going like this, like I needed a longer arm. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. But so you started doing the things with Megan, and what I have to ask you, a lot of people, me from the beginning, I thought that she was very sus, because I remember the first time I heard about her was actually when Harry put out that statement saying, "Oh, leave my girlfriend alone, you racist." And I'm like, have I
Yeah.
missed something? Because I do follow the monarchy,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a YouTuber, but I followed the monarchy, and I was like, did I miss something here? Which girlfriend
Mhm.
is he talking about? And then I see Megan, and I thought, shit, she's Latina. There was something about her that put me off, you
Yeah,
know?
I thought the same thing. I remember reading that statement in an article and I was thinking, what is going on? It almost as if it came out of nowhere because the press was always so glowing about the brothers and their boyfriends for the most part. It was not disrespectful. So to read that and to see her pictures, I thought, wow, okay. I didn't think we were that far back in a society where everyone would be saying and doing all the things that he was alleging, but okay. But yeah, exactly.
So you thought she was sus too, right?
Well, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt for sure. And I remember watching the engagement interview and I remember feeling, wow, this one is polished or trying to come across as very polished. It was not the same energy that Catherine brought to her interview. I very much felt as if she wanted to dominate and take center stage in that interview. Whereas with Catherine, who understands royal protocol and is by her very nature just so much more you know what I mean? Like she just seemed like, okay, I'm here, breathe, I'm okay. But with Megan, I really felt like it was such a polished performance. But she was trying to be humble, but it didn't come across that way to me.
I what sent red flags for me? Ginger, I think I have your address. I will send you that little bottle that you know what? I am going to go get it. Jennifer, can you please tell people, because you were talking about the bath salts. You were actually featured in the what you might call it, and Daily
TV
Mail,
news.
the
Yeah.
bath salts. Can you tell them what, because I had Manuela here, but then, she's very a chemical engineer. So can you explain it to people? Like,
Yes.
explain it to me.
Well,
And I'm just
yeah,
gonna go get this stuff, but you keep please tell
sure.
people. Yes, yes.
Yeah, sure. So watching Megan make her concoction, it was basically bath salt, which is good old fashioned Epsom salt. And she was mixing arnica oil and she was mixing lavender oil with this concoction. But what really just made me sit there with my mouth hanging open was she wasn't giving precise measurements. And I mean, it's not as if I'm sitting here trying to criticize her unfairly, but when you're dealing with essential oils and when you're dealing with plant compounds, which is what essential oils are, and I explained it in my video that I released, essential oils are basically volatile plant compounds that have the potential to really really irritate the skin, and when you use them alone they really can inflame and even burn the skin. And you have to mix them with something called a carrier oil, which is what we think of when we think of oil, like a sunflower oil or a jojoba oil, or evening primrose, grapeseed, all these types of rich, thick massage oils. It's very important to mix an essential oil with a carrier oil, which is a fatty oil. And she wasn't doing her due diligence, just giving her audience a very, very simple explanation. All she had to do was say, hey, everybody, I have my Epsom salt. I have 2 cups here. I have a container. I'm going to mix 10 drops of arnica essential oil with 25 drops of jojoba, or whatever the exact what I believe is, it has to be 2 drops of an essential oil to 10 drops of a carrier oil. All Netflix had to do was even put a little disclaimer or a little recipe, text on the screen, something to give people to go on. Because when you just start putting oils in, a lot of people aren't educated. They don't know what was to stop somebody from going in their house, taking a bottle of essential arnica or essential lavender oil, dumping it plain into the salt, and then soaking in that, and they could really burn and inflame themselves. She didn't do her due diligence. It's so simple. All you have to do is say, hey, this, how much of this, how much of this. It's not hard, but it just seems like I don't know, she just can't be bothered, or she takes for granted that the people that are watching know and understand this, when that's not the case.
And not only that, like at least give a warning.
Yeah.
For example, say, you know what, I use arnica, but just be careful because, it might say something, but there's
Yes.
nothing, no disclaimer, you're wearing makeup. I should put some lipstick on. I can't
And
believe you.
arnica oil, and I even say in my video, Paula, arnica oil is usually blended with a carrier oil when you can buy it off the shelf, and you can massage it onto the skin or put it in the bath and be fine. But yet again, she doesn't tell the viewer that. She doesn't say, I'm mixing something that is an over-the-counter preparation, but if you're DIYing it at home, here's what you have to make sure of. And arnica oil is one of those oils where pregnant women are advised not to use it. I mean, this is a serious thing. You can't just throw this out and expect people to know or understand all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We love Jennifer. I've been watching her, it's just that, guys, like because of all the Mexican drama that happened with me, I've been very careful not to have very many people on my channel anymore. Because, it's especially after what I think you've been following me since Norway. So all the drama that I was going through, and for me, loyalty is a major thing. I mean, if your father is Mexican, and what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
for us, is very, very important. So, and we're usually very sociable people. Due to my circumstances with my ex, I became antisocial. Not antisocial, but I couldn't trust anybody. So when I started being on YouTube, I trusted too many people, and that's a bad sign. And now I follow P. Diana's advice, which is, I think you should be on P. Diana's channel. Would you like to be on P. Diana's channel?
I love Medina. And what's her pug's name? It's escaping me. Her little pug.
Otis.
Otis. Yeah. I love Medina.
I know. I mean, Otis is such a saint. You should see Siri. I mean, okay, she's asleep. Okay, but I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna send you to be Dinah's. So the thing is, for me, what the red flags for me were that they kept saying she was a lister, that she was this business savvy woman. So you Google, right? It's like, maybe I got the wrong Meghan Markle, and that kind of thing. And I remember the hatred, that the hatred towards people who called her out started very early on. I used to follow, because I remember I was asking myself all kinds of questions, and it's like, oh my goodness, I would say, am I the only one? I feel like that. I don't know if you guys follow this podcast called Am I the Asshole? Because there's a podcast. Have you heard of that podcast?
No.
Okay, there's this girl, and it's like, am I the asshole for thinking this? And then she gets the story, and she's actually really funny, because she tells true stories of people. And then these people, I say, like, my boyfriend was cheating, and I found him cheating and what I did is I exposed that. I took pictures of them cheating, and I showed it. Am I the asshole for doing that? Like those kind of things.
Yeah.
So when I thought I was going crazy, and I remember I put out one tweet, and I said, "Who is Meghan Markle? Do I have the
Mhm.
wrong one?"
Yeah.
And
You
then
dared to ask the question. You dared to ask the
Yeah,
question.
this was right after Harry put out that statement, right? Which
Hmm.
Prince William, rightly so, didn't want to put out. And it was
Yes.
like, oh my God, you racist pig, you blah, 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 blah. And then I did a video. And that video, I remember, I wasn't even thinking of being a YouTuber. I was just asking to YouTube, can somebody please help me? Because I find this woman very sus. And that
Hmm.
video was allowed to stay for 1 week, but thankfully nobody knew who I was. So, I think like five people watched it.
1 week?
Yeah, it was allowed to stay on for 1 week. After that, it was taken down by YouTube. And
Well,
then,
she was very conscious of the political climate, both abroad and I'm in the U.S., but I believe she was very, very conscious of the political climate, and she took advantage of it.
yeah, and the thing is that, and then I did another YouTube. I did another YouTube when she got married, and I saw that only Doria was there and Oprah and everything. And I did
Yes.
a video saying, what the hell is going on here? Why isn't this, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. So I remember I ran into this channel. Well, it's not the same channel because she was the platform, but I ran into Yankee Wally. She
I
only
used
has
to listen to Yankee
11,000.
Wally.
Yeah, she only has
Mhm.
11,000 follower, guys. Shame on us because she should be up to 80,000. Because when I started following her, she had like a lot of subs. She's this
Yes.
person from. Oh my God. Look at this
What is
video.
that picture?
It's Meghan Markle's feet. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Multi-ethnic, and she's been married. She already has a kid from someone, or divorced. I mean, everything. You're not supposed to be in a Catholic family or whatever, and she's kicking it.
She's not from a Catholic family.
No, she's not. No, I mean, it's so yeah. I remember following Yankee Wall, and Yankee was like, "Yeah, this lady's saying what I'm saying, so I'm not the only one."
Paula, do you remember you just had it up when they were presenting Archie? She looked almost robotic, as if she was trying to, put her hand on him. She didn't know how to stand. Her face looked so frozen. That was so strange to me. Do you remember when they were presenting him and Harry was holding
Of course,
Archie?
I do. I mean, I've done videos about it. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
because I do remember there was a huge, but what people don't know is that there was a huge fight because Meghan Markle didn't want to have British
Mhm.
cameras, and she timed it, and she had Gail King. Gail King, I remember she only wanted, and the same thing happened for her wedding. I don't know if you guys know this, but she did not want any. She wanted to sell. Listen to the words. She wanted to sell the exclusive of the royal wedding to CBS, to Gail King and Oprah Winfrey for millions. And the Queen said, no fudging way. The people are paying for this wedding. This is
Mhm.
why you don't see that very many cameras or very many angles. And by the way, the mystery, no, she never curtsied to the Queen. But she did look at William when she was walking by outside by him. It's like, I wish it had been you,
Mhm.
because let's face it, this woman wants William. It's like, you know,
Mhm.
I,
I think if she could go back in a time machine and manipulate events, we all know which brother she would probably have tried to pursue.
yeah, yeah, but
Mhm.
that wasn't it. Yeah, yeah, like, so for me, that was it. And that video was taken down. And my channel
Yeah.
was banned. And then Twitter, and then I was allowed to stay on Twitter for another month or so. But the hatred I got. So I kept just watching Yankee Wally because she was pretty much answering, asking the same questions I was asking. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Are we the only
Mhm.
few ones that are insane? I watched Murky Meg, who I loved. I even spoke to her once. I was still in Norway.
Yeah.
And
You,
yeah, yeah,
Murky Meg, Taz, all of you guys, I really believe were fearless, really fearless, and you were just attacked mercilessly for any. I mean, and it wasn't even like you were out there talking about, oh, I don't like her because of this or her skin color or the way she looks. Or it was basic, legitimate questions as to what is going on here, you know?
Yeah.
And you were just attacked mercilessly. It was so unfair, deplatformed. You
Yeah.
guys paved the way and did all of the hard work, I feel, to allow a lot of us that are this newer crop to come up and feel confident that we can speak freely, because before there would have probably have been no way that I could have even, lived through that. I mean, you guys went through the fire.
Yeah, but you know what? I expected that from the Sussex squad. I never expected it from the Mexican community. That took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm laughing about it now because I had to laugh. But that was shocking. That was shocking, and it's still happening. So, but I'm now being a little bit more careful, more reserved, and I'm just, for me, I'm going to talk about a bunch of other stuff, like I have to, because for me, it's asking questions. I have this, I went through domestic violence. So I want to talk
Yeah.
about Blake Lively and how terrible that is, it is. And then we have Hillary Hayward Thomas, also known as Hilaria. This should reach home for you because, you have Mexican background and you don't pretend to speak with a Latin,
No.
with a Spanish, accent. And I mean, and that's no white thing. And I do talk to, for example, other creators and stuff.
Mhm.
But for me, it's incredible. I was watching, guys, because I sometimes I watch documentaries, and I was watching the Queen, and I was thinking how 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 one event can turn everything around.
Mhm.
I always talk about the before and after. You know,
Yes.
Oh, but here, you have a question. By the way, guys, I want to say thank you for the super chats yesterday. Guys, thank you so much. Claudia, thank you. That bought me a lot of McDonald's. When I get the money, that will buy me a lot of McDonald's or KFCs and stuff like that. But thank you for the super chats, for the PayPal donations. People are asking me about the school. I no longer have the school. It's now a full shelter. The only reason why I'm not showing it is because it's because the girls that I'm housing, they're used to sleep on the streets from very young age. They had no privacy. They would do their necessities pretty much in front of everybody. So I managed to build a huge thing, and I gave them each like their little cubicle and privacy. So
Yeah.
I want them to feel like they have privacy. It's not for me to exploit. If you want to believe me
Yeah.
that I have that, it's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But I just don't want them to feel that they have to pose for me and be on a YouTube video, because
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's something that, and I always cry whenever I think of them, when they first saw that they had a bed. One of them had most of them had never slept in a bed, and they were looking from ages, and for them getting ARD was a way of life, from their
Yeah.
families. So for me now, it's very important that they know that they have a safe place, and they don't have to give me anything in return. They don't have to do anything in return. It's their safe place. They're learning to sew. They're learning to do hair.
That's
This,
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
know. You know what? I would love to have. Well, I would love to have you come here one day and teach him how to do makeup. Although I have a lot of fabulous gay friends, but that's because they're learning. They're learning technical things. I haven't done my nails because my lupus is acting up. But yeah, so I want to thank you guys, because you guys have been amazing, and I really appreciate that. And this is one of the things that really makes me mad about Meghan Markle, because she got access to a huge platform. She could have highlighted so many social things. And instead, do you remember, guys, when she said, "Oh, I'm going to hit the ground running"? She was portrayed as this humanitarian. Remember that?
Hmm. Oh, yeah. And to be appointed the vice president along with her husband of the Queen's Commonwealth, and to throw that away. What a platform. What an opportunity as a mixed race woman to go out there and work on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, which is what she had said for so well, what, at least for that year when she was putting it out in the press that she was a humanitarian before she officially started dating him. But
Hmm.
that supposedly was what was her life's aspiration, to be a humanitarian, to work at that global level and to have that area of influence, and then just to throw it all away. And we all know that the Commonwealth was the Queen's baby. It was her legacy. It was the thing she was most proud of. So to have her just, oh, throw it away and I'm going to go to America and try to become a Hollywood star. It's like, what? That is a completely different universe. Those two universes do not conflate. It's so mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and the fact that the fact that the queen gave her like an opportunity to she pulled her out of the gutter, and it's incredible. In many ways, I am very happy that Harry's going through what he's going, because to me,
Yeah.
he's the most stupid person on earth. To me, he's the worst. And I know a lot of people say, and I've said that he's the most evil Forrest Gump, British Forrest Gump, but
Yeah.
he is the kind of person that he should have looked after his grandmother. I don't care whatever problems you may be having with your parents, but your grandparents, guys, come
Yeah.
on, your grandparents.
I have always said to my mom, Paula, because my mom and I both, have watched this saga from the beginning, and I've always said, we all know that he was jealous of his brother, but that jealousy, think about it for a second. It must have been so deep and, it's just so a part of him down to his bones that he was throw his family under the bus the way that he had. Any man with any sense of moral decency or any type of loyalty would have turned to his wife and said, "You know what? We've gone too far here. We need to take a step back and we need to maybe have a meeting of the minds, but in private. But you will not speak of my family in these terms. I will not allow that to happen. I have a loyalty to my grandmother. I have a loyalty to my father as a future king." And it just seemed like none of that ever happened. It seemed like he was just more than willing to have her just lead him around by the nose. It's almost as if he welcomed it, which to me is just so mind-boggling. And as a Catholic Christian, I am about forgiveness and I'm about all of that, but I just have to wonder what was going on in his psyche to even allow that to get to the point that it did. It's just so disgraceful.
Well, that I always said that people say, "Oh, Meghan Markle," because I still listen to it. People saying, "Oh, Meghan Markle, he wasn't like this." Yes, he was. It's just that Buckingham Palace didn't
Yeah,
didn't did a great job hiding it. Like, I really do believe
yeah,
that Buckingham Palace did an
I
amazing
yeah,
job about that.
you're right.
And this is
You're
why
right.
people have this. That I was listening to Katie Hopkins, right? Because I love Katie
Mhm.
Hopkins, and she was like, "Oh, we miss that prince, like the one that
Yeah,
was kooky doing drugs and yeah, rolling out of." That's the problem. That is a
yeah.
problem for me, because no, people think that that's a good image. And this is why he gets away with so much, because people are still clinging on to that idea of who they think he was, that it was cool to be
Yes.
this drug addict, racist person. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, you are right. I do believe that obviously his parents, because Diana did express her, worry about him and how he would grow and how he would develop. She knew that he was going to be a special case. And I do believe that his grandmother also knew who he was and what he was about. So you're absolutely correct. I believe that they did cover up a lot of bad behavior, but I don't think in their wildest dreams that they would ever conceive that the level of betrayal would reach, the height and where it is now. I don't know if they ever thought that he would completely throw them under the bus the way that he has. And I don't know. That's just my opinion, but obviously it's gotten to where it's gotten.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, though, that that freedom flight, yeah, that freedom flight, right? And he
Yeah.
gave that freedom flight for this woman.
Mhm. Yep. And
That's,
you
that's
can
what we're looking at.
see.
I want you to understand something. This is what Megan's idea of
Yeah.
modeling, high-end
Yeah.
modeling looks like. Okay. Just absorb that for a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't even know where to start with that.
But you could see, Paula, and I think you said it in one of your videos, I forget which one, you could see the level of duper's delight and glee that was in their eyes and on their faces when they thought, we're escaping and we're going to go and we're going to monetize this and we are going to leave all of them in the dust and we are going to become the new prince and princess of America. I really do believe that that's what they thought.
Yeah, and I got to tell you something. I have always been of the opinion that the reason why he looks mad and he looks miserable is not because um, he regrets what he's done. It's
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't pan out the way he thought it would.
Yeah. I mean, everything that he wrote in his book. I mean, I didn't read that book. I listened to enough of the commentary on the book and sections of the book, but he just does not seem to get it. He really is still waiting for that apology, Paula. They are both waiting for Charles and Camilla and the family to go to them on bended knee, as if to say, we are so sorry that we wronged you. They have absolutely no culpability. There's no accountability. They really feel that they were wronged in this situation. And you're absolutely right. That's why he's angry. He's angry because, if they hadn't been so awful, they wouldn't be forced to leave. And now everything wouldn't be playing out the way it is now. There's no personal accountability. None.
The queen knew. The queen knew. And she look at the queen. She couldn't even bear to look at her. I mean, you can see, I think, the queen always, I know she had a serious face, but in most weddings, she was, especially during Princess Diana's and Charles' wedding, she was like, she couldn't stop herself smiling. The same thing with Princess Catherine. The same thing with all the weddings, and except the one, of course, Charles and Camilla, she didn't smile there at all. But the queen knew, guys. The queen absolutely knew. Make no mistake about that. She didn't fool our queen for one bit. This person. What do you think of Harry right now? About this is the thing, guys. I wanted to play this thing to you because I want you to tell me something about it. Okay, I'm gonna mute this because otherwise it sounds echoey. But I want you to tell me what you think. Okay.
My most well-known virtual shoot is the portrait I took of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announcing their pregnancy. It's a very joyous image. The technology allows you to take over a phone or an iPad and they can hear my voice and I can still press the shutter and compose with ease. It's extraordinary what you can do with technology.
They weren't actually under a willow tree, but they were lying outside in a meadow, weren't they, Harry and Meghan, when you took a photograph of them?
Yeah, they were lost in their love. At home in their garden, comfortable, celebrating new joy, new life.
There's been an article on the Daily Mail saying that I have admitted to doctoring the pregnancy announcement portrait I took of Harry and Meghan. Any mention of meadows and willow trees came out of the person doing the interview, not my mouth. I did my best to ignore it and focus on what I wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. So to see an article saying as fact that I did what I did not do is extraordinary to me.
I think that we heard him admit because he had a chance to say to the guy, no, they were actually under a willow tree. That's an actual picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How many times has she been caught doctoring photos? And to have Catherine be massacred in the press over that Mother's Day photo when she was going through active cancer, Paula. I mean, it just boggles the mind. It boggles the mind.
But this is the thing, how they gaslight people. It's like, and I was reading this girl that they said it's like when people say, you say you're a Christian and you believe in forgiveness, right? I'm Old Testament, an eye for an eye. And I'm the original. Because
Mhm.
there's so many times you can turn the cheek because people mistake kindness for weakness, and that is a big mistake.
Right.
You know, or you also have to, love yourself enough to say, enough. That
Yes.
is enough. The buck stops
Mhm.
here because otherwise the behavior escalates, which is what I think this is why people, and please in the chat, let me know if you feel this way. This is the frustration that people have, especially now with Harry Visa's documents, right?
Yeah.
That people are like, enough,
Mhm.
enough. Like how can this be? This is enough.
Yeah. I mean,
No
you
consequences.
but they haven't even, I mean, forgiveness though, Paula, it's a two-way street, and you have to ask for it in order to get it. And I'm sure there were things on both sides. And I am sure, and I said it in one of my other videos, William and Catherine are wonderful, gracious people. I am sure if they came to them and said, hey, for our part, we're sorry, even though they probably didn't, I mean, we all know they didn't do anything that would warrant this level of abuse and these accusations being spewed at them. But I'm sure even William and Catherine would probably say, you know what, whatever we did to make you somehow feel like we're sorry as well. But I really feel like that day has passed. Unfortunately, it's just that day has passed. He doesn't trust him anymore. I'm sure he will always love him, wish him well, but I really don't think that William would ever allow those two near his family because he wants to protect them. He wants them protected. And especially after Catherine's cancer battle, he's probably even more fierce in that belief. He wants to protect his family. He doesn't trust them anymore.
Yeah,
Not that he ever did, but
this is the thing that you're absolutely right. People keep saying the royal family should ask for forgive them, but they haven't asked for forgiveness. It's the other way around.
mhm,
And
yeah,
they haven't asked for forgiveness. They have never said sorry. They have
no.
justified, they have gaslit, they have deflected, reflected, done whatever things. And what do you think of President Bonus? Because I love it. I am actually on March 30th head to Spotify because it drops there.
Mhm.
It drops there. I mean, it's a beautiful podcast that she has, talking about mothers and how
Yeah.
important mothers are. Please head on to her. I'm leaving the link there. Because she's doing something, and she's advertising for it. She has proper A-listers and they're talking about their mothers, something that Meghan
Yeah.
Markle can't even bring. That on Mother's Day, she was in Nigeria. Not once did she said Happy Mother's Day to her mother.
Very strange. But, just looking at Cressida, she looks so full of life and so happy. And she's smart. She's a businesswoman. It looks like she married very well. How many, does she have one child or two?
She has two. I mean, and her husband, hubba. I'll show him to you right
Yeah.
now. I mean, he's
She
gorgeous, guys.
yeah. I mean, do you remember how Megan always said it's not enough to live, you have to thrive? Looks like Cressida's thriving.
Yeah. Cressida's doing well. I got to tell you, because she has a loving husband. So this is the beautiful thing, guys. So please go subscribe to it because I can't wait for it. Oh, already have more. Please, all of you go subscribe and watch it on Spotify because it's about our moms, and I get
Mhm.
very emotional watching it. So it is something that is very interesting because, she is very genuine the way she talks about, and you can see that it's not. Yes, she is hosting the podcast, but she's letting others speak about and it's a very genuine conversation like you and I are having. Like, guys, I don't script my stuff, and you know that, right? So, can you imagine, for example, Harry talking about his mother's influence on him, or having? Can you imagine if Prince William showed up there? If that was one of the guests, because she has Princess Eugenie there.
That would be the ultimate troll, but it it would be delicious. Let's put it that way.
You know what I would do, guys? I don't ask for millions. I don't ask for anything, but I would give anything, if Princess Catherine would allow me to watch as ever Meghan with her. I am willing. I am willing to lose my voice, to lose
Oh,
everything. I mean,
yeah.
and she know that she would be or Prince William. Be with both, but I settle for Princess Catherine because she's the one that's getting the brunt of it. Like so much hatred from Meghan, and I think that the hatred is because she married William, who's the guy that she wanted.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but I would give anything. I would give absolutely anything just to go and say to Princess Catherine, you know what? Please, let's just watch it together with a glass of wine and let me know what you really think. I will sign whatever you want me to sign. I will do
Yeah.
whatever you want me to do. But I will, yeah.
You know what? Honestly, Paula, I don't think Catherine can even be bothered. She is so above that. And I'm not even meaning to say that in a, hoity-toity type of way. I mean, she really is. I'm sure I cannot be bothered. That is the furthest thing from their minds.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I
Hmm.
do. I mean, do I think that the, latest goings on with Harry and Meghan is communicated to them via their team? Sure, but I think that they are so on point together and they are such a strong team and their focus is on the future of the monarchy. Their focus is on I always say patronage or patronage. That is their focus. Yeah, that is their focus, and their children, and making sure that their children grow up knowing that they're loved, knowing about their futures, knowing about, all the open door. I mean, weren't they saying that George was expressing interest in becoming a chef? Like they were even trying to nurture that in him. They're just so focused on the future and all the wonderful, bright things, especially now that she is cancer free. I mean, gosh, I would really hope that she wouldn't even bother with something like As Ever Meghan, honestly.
No, but it must give her a little bit of pleasure. Come on, we're all human.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially to have her so mercilessly attack the way that she was, to now see what's happening across the pond with her sister-in-law. I'm sure makes her pause and think, well, I mean, what are you going to do when you hurl baseless accusations for years, when you're allowed to say whatever it is that you want to say, knowing that people are not going to fight back? They knew very well when they went on that Oprah interview that William and Catherine were not going to speak on any of it. And to have the Queen's, 2-sentence statement recollection, or the 1-sentence recollections may vary. That was such
Recollection area.
that was such a masterful move by Her Late Majesty, and that's all that needed to be said. It was brilliant.
Look at her. This is last year, when she announced that. You can
Mhm.
see that she was very emotional, very nervous. And you still had the Sussex squad going, saying, oh, that's fake. That's fake. And look at her now. Isn't she beautiful?
I mean, she is thriving. That's the face of a woman who knows that she has been through the fire and she's coming out the other side. And now again, constantly, she knows the focus is on others. William and Catherine understand that they have been placed for whatever reason in this position that they're in, and they are going to use that platform for good. They're going to use that platform to focus on others. Everything is outward focusing. And as a cancer survivor myself, to watch her go to the Royal Marsden and to sit on those chairs and talk to those people getting IV chemo sitting in those chairs. I've been in that chair. I know what it's like to have a port. I know what it's like to have that tube of poison running through your body. And her just sitting there and making it all about them. It was just such a wonderful thing to see. And I'm so happy. And I thank God every day that William was born first and that he chose the woman that he chose to be by his side. She is going to be so glorious, Paula, when she is crowned. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm not saying that I wish, anything to Charles, but I'm saying when that day comes, it is going to be so glorious, Paula. I cannot wait to see her and
Oh,
William
I will
crowned.
fly to London. If I'm alive, I will
Yeah.
fly to London.
Yeah.
This is Jennifer's, by the way, guys. And I also wanted to ask you because, you're a beautician and stuff like that. People keep talking how gorgeous Meghan Markle was, That's Jennifer. Please go subscribe to her channel. I will leave the link of her channel right now. I think I left it, but just in case, I am going to leave it again so you guys can go and follow it because I was so shocked at the levels of irresponsibility from Netflix. Like her cooking without shoes in the kitchen. I mean,
Mhm.
that in itself, it's that's Jennifer's channel. Please go subscribe to her because let me see. I think I have one of your videos here. Let me see. videos. There we go. Let me see. We're gonna play a little bit of a clip from Meghan here. Let me see. Can make better people. Oh, it was so funny. You know, you have so many good videos. I love your thumbnails. They're so great. You know, like
Oh,
this is
thank you.
yeah. I suck at the thumbnails. This is one
I
of the
do them
videos.
all myself, Paula. I do them all myself in Canva.
I have Canvas, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to do. You know, like you do, because I'm not very techy. I mean, but this is. Let's listen to a little bit of your clip.
Of Meghan, her Netflix series. I'm going to be going into the episodes, a deeper dive in future videos. There's going to be a lot to discuss. I can't wait to share with you my reactions, my commentary, and I can't wait to read you guys' comments, see what you guys are thinking about everything that we're watching. But today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to focus on a particular segment that I watched in the first episode entitled Hello Honey, that was, shall we say, pretty cringe inducing for me. And the reason why is because, okay, I don't profess to know everything, but if you are somewhat familiar with my channel beyond my Meghan and Harry and royal family video commentary, you also know that I'm all about simple beauty, that I love skincare, that I love makeup, that I've been a licensed esthetician for over 20 years. So I know a little bit about health and beauty products and all that good stuff. I know a little bit about essential oils and all that kind of stuff. I have delved into that whole world myself, that whole DIY essential oil thing. I've made my own custom oil blends. I've made my own lotions and creams with essential oils and things like that. That's why I was cringing watching the segment in this episode where she makes a DIY, a do-it-yourself bath salt soak for her friend Daniel Martin. The way she is making it in this episode is the entirely wrong way to go about it. She's making it.
You have to go watch her channel if you want to watch the rest of the video, because I'm not gonna get the goods away. Go watch her channel. You
Paula,
know,
do you hate watching yourself? I hate watching myself.
I don't watch my videos.
I know. I hate it. I cringe when I hear my voice.
No, me too. Me too. I don't watch my videos. I really
Yeah.
don't, guys. And it's not because it's just that I hate my voice, and sometimes I think I actually did watch one, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, because when people say you come across as angry, and I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm sorry. It was just, you know, especially when I found out that I was hard of hearing, it's like, and
Oh,
you know,
no.
you don't hear yourself, right? So because I can't
Yeah.
hear myself very well, I speak loud, you know. So
Mhm.
so this is amazing, guys. Oh, thank you, Chevron Angel. Thanks for subscribing. Please go and subscribe, because her channel is amazing. I love it, you know, and I've been watching it for quite some time. So, you know, I was just getting up the nerve to ask you to come. So, but it is something that it's to me, I don't feel sorry for this guy. I don't feel sorry at all for him, because look, I'm going to show you a picture that sums up everything, in my opinion, about Harry and Meghan. This is when they did this visit, you know, like nobody's happy here, but Meghan is smiling.
Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of those medical professional type YouTube channels where they talk about narcissism, not just HG Tutor. There's a couple doctors that are psychologists that seem to have a very varied and rich background about narcissism. And they talk about one of the strong indicators is expressions and micro expressions that do not fit the setting where they're in. How many photographs do we have where she's around people who are very serious, or they look like something's going on, but yet she's the only one that's smiling? And when you were talking about earlier, remember when you felt that she was a little bit suspect in the very beginning? It really,
Mhm.
really started to become apparent to me. And I remember this just the day it happened, because my mom and I and my family were unpacking in our current house right now the day that they got married. And we had it on the big TV in our living room. And I remember watching her and looking at her, and it seemed like she was posing the entire time. It never seemed like she just kind of decompressed and took a breath and just was listening, genuinely listening to what was going on around her. She had this micro weird expression and it never changed. It was the entire time. Did you notice that?
No, yeah. It's because she's not listening to people. She's just
Yeah,
there
no.
cosplaying. They call it cosplaying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
go
go,
ahead.
please. Sorry. No, go
No, I
ahead.
was
Sorry.
going to say, and when you were watching whether the choir was singing, whether the archbishop was speaking, whether the preacher was giving his talk, the expression never changed. It was very eerie to me. And then when I heard what the minister was talking about during their wedding ceremony, I remember turning to my mom and thinking, what is going on? I understand the importance of his message, but I felt it was a little strange for a royal wedding. I mean, wouldn't you agree? I just felt like, uh-oh, what's happening here?
He was recommended by Oprah Winfrey.
Hmm.
And Charles, and Charles got the black choir, which Meghan was really angry about because she didn't want a black choir. I mean, what people don't get, remember in that guys in that episode where she says nobody ever treated me like a black woman, so for
Yeah.
her to see so much blackness in her wedding, she was
Yeah.
upset about it. She actually fought not to have that black choir, but Charles insisted on it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, she did not want the black choir. She did not want the black choir. She did not want the black preach. She did not want any of that. She wanted a white wedding.
Yeah, it's very interesting, Paula, who she surrounds herself with. What is the color of the skin of their skin? The people that she counts as her inner close circle, her confidants. I don't see any representation. I don't see any strong black women other than someone like an Oprah and a Gayle King, but I'm talking close confidence people. I don't see black people represented in her inner circle at all. Do you?
No. Well, Serena Williams. But the funny thing is that Serena Williams, guys, can you talk about her skin? I'm just gonna get the charger because the computer is not so. Can you? Sorry about that. I'm showing a picture. Can you talk about what? This is a woman who's supposed to be 43, guys, and Jennifer and I are 56, and we don't look like that, thankfully.
Well, to me, I'm seeing quite a bit of sun damage. So the texture that you're seeing and the pigmentation that you're seeing is likely from sun damage. It's likely from years of not being diligent with sunscreen. And hey, I'm not here to shame anybody. I don't know. I've never met the woman. I don't know what she looks like close up, but I mean, based on pictures that we're seeing here, that's just indicative to me of sun damage, years of being in the sun. I don't know if she was a smoker. I do know that there have been a few photos here and there from her past where she's smoking or she's shown with a cigarette in her hand. I think there was one of her sunbathing with Jessica Mulroney where she had a cigarette in her hand in the sun while she's sunbathing. So that is, not great for the skin. If you smoke, it restricts oxygen flow to your skin and it constricts all the blood vessels that supply the nutrients to your skin. So I don't know if she smoked just socially or if she smoked off camera and we just don't know about it. But I mean,
She used to be a smoker. She used to be a smoker.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know about that. Like I said, I have.
Oh no, she's been photographed smoking with
Okay.
with Jessica Mulroney, and they're on vacation. Yeah. And you see her rolling, whether it's a joint or a cigarette. But she used to be a smoker.
Yeah. So smoking, the reason why, again, it's a huge no-no is because it constricts those blood vessels that supply the oxygen and the nutrients to our skin. So that can result in a very sallow appearance that can cause, discoloration and lines, especially around the eyes and the mouth. You have that leathery texture of the skin and also mottled pigmentation. I do know that she's had freckles pretty much her whole life. So when you are prone to freckling, you should really, really not be in the sun for prolonged periods of time because freckles can pop up and they will pop up quick, even after tiny little increments of sun exposure. I mean, I've got, sunspots and different things around my face. You can't avoid them entirely, but I would say someone like her who has a propensity to have freckling, she should not spend a lot of time in the sun.
But she has really bad skin. It's not even just that she's freckled, because I have a girlfriend of mine, and Danielle, she has beautiful skin. She's got freckles, but her skin is so beautiful, so smooth. But this woman, it's really, really unfortunate. And you know what's weird? Because she has black DNA. So usually people with black DNA look younger. I talked to P. Dinah about it, and it's like, like I said, you guys, age takes longer because you have more melanin. Is that melatonin or melanin? Which one is it?
Melanin.
Melanin.
Melatonin is the hormone your body makes to help you get sleepy.
Yeah. But it's the melanin one,
Yes.
So it's like you would think that, their skin is thicker, so they're less wrinkled. And this is a woman with access to the most expensive treatments there are.
Paula, I would love to see Meghan embrace her natural hair texture. Honestly, I would. I think that if she gave her natural genetics a chance to shine, she probably would shock herself because, I don't know. Has she ever come out and said that she wears hair extensions and she does all that? I mean, I think
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
She will never.
But I
admit
mean,
to that.
I think we can all guess that she does. I mean, one day her hair is, way down practically to her belly button, and then another day it's a little past shoulder length. So I'm sure that's indicative of hair extensions. But I would love to see her embrace her natural hair texture. That would be a great start.
You mean afro?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen,
not?
sweetie. I don't think that's not, because she herself has said she hated her hair.
Yeah, but I mean, why? If you're a proud Black woman and you're championing Black women and you want to be inclusive and you want to, stand up for that community, what better way? There are so many wonderful, beautiful Black women out there, famous celebrities who are embracing their natural hair texture and they are rocking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what's interesting to me? Is that people still don't get it. I mean, she said it in that Netflix documentary that that nobody ever treated like a Black woman.
I mean, and when she said that, she couldn't hide the disdain for that either. It was very, very telling. To me, she doesn't come across as someone who is very proud of the fact that she is biracial. To me, it read very much like, how dare they treat me as a Black woman? I mean, what is that all about? Why wouldn't you be proud of that? I don't know. Make it make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm showing this because, of course, of the divorce rumors. Because Meghan did not deny in the Vanity Fair thing. She never denied that that indeed there had been talks about a divorce book. And I know that she has video footage of him, and I've been saying this for years in my channel. And just now people are portraying it as breaking news. Meghan Markle has recorded the royals and she has recordings of Harry. This woman recorded this man go down on one knee. Who would think of that? You think you'd be emotional about it. And you're just, your man is proposing to you. She called Jess. And she has it recorded as well. She wasn't just recording or call her friend. No, it's like she's filming it. Mm-hmm. So people, I see suddenly all these big YouTubers going on like, oh, and she has recording. She's been recording. I mean, I know for a fact, and one day I will be allowed to tell you who this person has been, my source, and you will understand. Because people say, where do you get these news? And then when it happens, first they call me a quack. And then when it happens months later, nobody remembers that I said it months before, right? Because I know for a fact that Meghan Markle is trying to get a deal with Netflix and big giants and stuff like that for a movie about her divorce, her separation, because Harry and Meghan are practically separated. Harry mostly is living in New York. Okay. So I I just, but of course they have to be careful, because what Meghan doesn't understand is that she can't just show a video of somebody like, like that, like, like Amber Heard and stuff like that, that Amber Heard show videos of Johnny Depp going, like he was
Yes.
hitting the,
Yes.
the thing and stuff like that, like, but not
She was
hitting her.
Yes. Amber was secretly taping him. And if you watch some of that footage, remember when you listen to it, and Johnny even says on one of those particular recordings, "Are you taping this?" Like, how dare you? She was just setting him up.
Yeah, no. So she's been looking, but the problem is that they don't want to hear from her. They want to hear from him when they get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing a video because yeah, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I remember, if you watch my early videos, like my earliest videos, I'm lying down on a couch talking to you guys, okay? And I'm saying Meghan Markle, the moment she signed that marriage license in the back of that church, she was already planning her way out, because she didn't bring anything of hers from Canada. Because, okay, even men do this, guys. If a man really likes a woman, he will stake his territory. He will say, she's my girlfriend. He will leave stuff at her apartment. But you know how men are. And we women, what is the first thing we do when we really want a guy? We leave something. I forgot my earring. I forgot my underwear there. I forgot this. I forgot that. Like, and this woman didn't bring anything. And what my videos, I'm saying in my videos, she's already signed a deal with Oprah. They're doing an Oprah thing. I speak about it in my videos. This woman never had any intention. And the reason why she rejected the Queen's offer to not get a title and go back to acting, and they would have helped her, because she knew she didn't. Meghan Markle, guys, had a horrible experience trying to be an actress. This woman was sleeping with the most disgusting men on earth, and doing things that she herself said were terrible, because, like she was going around doing the rounds, doing things, and she wasn't happy about it. So for her, it's not like she was no Grace Kelly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Paula, was it Tom Bauer in his book Revenge that was talking about how she had retained her contacts in California, her PR and her agent? She never officially let them go, right? And she was using their help to basically just keep her PR going back in the States.
Well, not only that, I reported back then, but Netflix, great voice, but Netflix doesn't want her. Netflix wants Harry. Netflix wants Harry. I reported back then. What was the question? Fuck, I need to take some vitamins. What was the question, Jennifer?
About her, basically, she never let go of her PR.
No, no. Not only that. I remember I reported that Harry, she had, not only that, she had changed because she had dismissed her agent, because as soon as she started engaged, she thought she was bigger already. So this is when Sunshine Sacks comes in. This is because Oprah said, you can't have that agent. So she let go of her agent, and then the PR company, and then she got Sunshine and Sacks. But I reported, and please go watch my earlier videos, guys. I said that Harry, this is when they were engaged. Because my friend works in PR. She's one of the PR gurus of all time. And in the States, and worldwide. And she said that Harry had signed up. And I reported that in one of my videos. This is when they were engaged. And then Harry comes out and says that, and it's also in the news, that Harry, while engaged, had been signed up by Sunshine Sacks.
Interesting.
Well, here, it was in one of you guys remember that, right? That it was that Harry admitted that he had been signed up by Sunshine Sacks. And I did a video and I said, guys, remember when I did that? Why would a prince who has Buckingham Palace as the best PR machine in the world would need, when he's engaged, to hire an American PR machine? Which confirms
it's very interesting. It's almost as if you're going to try to pursue a different narrative with a different company, because of course the palace is going to come out with their PR and their thing, but it's going to be different. It's going to be a different narrative if you go the Sunshine Sachs route, right?
Yeah, but they indicated that they had their sights, even Harry, on leaving back then. Because when I reported that, everybody said, "Oh, this woman is stupid. She doesn't know what she's talking." I was in Norway, and I said, "Listen, guys, Harry's already signed up to Sunshine and Sachs, and they're talking to." I believe I reported that they were talking about doing business with this company, but it went bankrupt. The streaming giant, I can't remember what the name was. And then Oprah traveling there, and I said they're already signed up with Oprah. And
Oprah said that remember Oprah wanted her interview. She wanted her FaceTime with Meghan, and Meghan told her it's not the time right now. It will be the time in the future, but not now. And that was that before the wedding or shortly?
Yeah, that was before the wedding. I mean, why not? Because
Right.
some people think that the palace was forbidding her from doing that. That's not true. She could have talked to anybody. But no, she wanted Oprah for later to use the black card, because you see, at the time, she couldn't complain about anything when Oprah wanted to do the interview, because she was being given everything. She was loved. What could she complain?
Yes.
What can she complain? Okay, I'm going to ask you guys. What could she have complained when she was engaged, when the entire United Kingdom and the entire world was basically rooting for her? She was getting everything she wanted. I mean, the press was positive because they silenced the press. You know, nobody dared say anything anymore. Meghan was untouchable.
Do you remember, Paula, when she was invited to Sandringham to spend Christmas with the family, and she was not even married? The Queen broke that protocol. Catherine had to wait 10 years.
And they invited Doria too.
Yep, and they invited Doria as well. What bigger welcome mat could you lay out for somebody and their family?
Let me see if I can find that. Because the thing is, and you know what's interesting? Is that she didn't want Doria there. She didn't allow Doria to come there. Here, I'm going to show you this, because Doria was invited. So not only did they invite her, they invited her mom, but she didn't want Doria there. This is the article, guys. Inside Meghan's amazing first Christmas at Sandringham, from an afternoon tea to singing gift for the Queen. This is the time that actually Catherine told her not to speak to her staff that way. That's when, you know, she was caught, because they were at Anmer Hall. This is what people don't understand, that Catherine and William had them stay over at Anmer Hall, their home. And Catherine caught her really basically bullying and harassing her staff. And she told her, she don't speak to my staff that way.
I know. It's so awful to think about. And can you imagine what a privilege, what a wonderful opportunity to be in privacy with the Queen. And just, I mean, if that was me, I would have picked the Queen's brain and wanted to learn every single thing I could from that wonderful lady about how to make my time in the family as you know, productive as possible. The Queen knows the ins and outs about everything. She's met everybody, the who's who, and who's ever practically lived during her lifetime, who is the who's who, from Winston Churchill, you know, all the way up to someone famous like Michael Jackson. I mean, the Queen knew everyone, met everyone, such a wealth of knowledge, such a wonderful person. I would have been so like picking her brain, please give me your wisdom. And I can guarantee you that it was just, it just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind.
Here it says, in 2017, newly engaged Meghan Markle spent her first Christmas with the royal family, making a significant step into royal life. Instead of staying at Sandringham, which had ample bedrooms, she and Prince Harry accepted an invitation from Prince William and Princess Catherine to stay at their newly renovated country residence, Anmer Hall. There, they enjoyed in the long-established Christmas celebrations, which royal biographer Andrew Morton describes as surprisingly laid back. And then he says, indeed, the Duchess recalled her amazing first Christmas at Sandringham with the royal family in her 2022 Netflix documentary, Harry and Meghan. I remember so vividly the first Christmas at Sandringham. Meghan recalled calling my mom, and she's like, how's it going? And I said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's just like the big family I've always wanted. And there was just this constant movement and energy and fun. You know, so how, first of all, that is a lie. You know, that is a lie, because if it was wonderful, that means that Catherine was nice to her. So that bullshit about her, that Catherine was cold and detached, you know, and this is why we have to keep bringing this up, because new people who are here and who are just learning about Meghan Markle in the United States, they don't know this stuff, you know.
No.
Megan explained, and I just thought it was so wonderful. And I was like, oh, we chatted and it was great. And I talked about this and I talked about that. And, you know, I mean, they were talking how wonderful everybody. I mean, can you imagine Catherine welcoming this woman into her home, and then, you know, she had to chastise her because she was yelling at her staff.
Mm-hmm. And she could have been such a wonderful asset to Catherine as well. Think about it. If they would have been gracious human beings, stayed in the family, served the crown, that they really could have been the new Fab Four, you know? They really could have worked in tandem with William and Catherine and been assets. And you know what? If they would have stayed and done their duty, they would have been popular, I think, beyond their wildest imaginations. And I don't think that she gets that. She really had a platform that she threw away and wasted. She really could have been very, very popular if she would have stayed and been a gracious person.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, the thing is that, but again, that would have been if she had any intention on staying. She had,
Right.
this is, so I've been saying this for years on my channel, guys. She never had any intention on staying. She never had any intention of staying married to Harry. I think that she put Harry up against the wall. She tricked him because he thought he was using her to
Yeah.
get back at William, and instead she was using him. They were both using each other, which is why this marriage, you know, you can see that they can't stand each other. Harry thought, oh, this by marrying this woman, I am going to be better than William because I'm going to be more popular and I got one on him. And Meghan thought, oh, I'm going to marry this idiot and I'm going to divorce him. And then I'm going to be the Duchess of Sussex. I'm going to be Duchess of Sussex with that royal title, just like Fergie. And then I'm going to go back to the United States and make loads of money and accuse them all of racism. This is why she said that Oprah was not the right time, because she genuinely thought that she was going to be divorced from Harry by 2022, which falls within her 5 year. Don't give it 5 minutes if you won't give it 5 years, because she was shopping for that book in 2022. And I reported that in 2022, guys. I reported that. Let me see if I have that. And I remember what people called me. I remember very well what people called me. He said, no, you know, you're, and I did a video about it. And I said, I showcased it. And I said that that she had been looking for a book to sell a book, shopping for a book and a video and a movie, you know. But the thing is that if people are going, no, they're in love, you're just jealous because, you know, you're a wrinkled old prune and blah 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 blah, you know. So, but yeah, so I'm glad that I was proven right.
Well, was it Jason Knopf who had said in that famous email that she always had somebody in her sights? She always wanted to be the one on the outs. She wanted to be distinct. She did not want to fit in.
Well, this is like, you know, and I know this because I lived in the UK, right? And in the UK, when you, it's really hard to fire somebody, guys. So you have to have, I know because I dated this guy who owned a company, and he had these people, and the girl knew that he couldn't just fire her, you know. So they had to have seminars, they had to have like HR things, they had to have like you know, like all kinds of things, right? So what she did is, because she didn't want to quit, because when you quit, you don't get as much, you don't get many benefits that you would otherwise get, right? So you have to be fired. When you're fired or let go, or you're made redundant,
forced out,
or you made redundant, you know, like you're made redundant, basically, then you get more benefits. So what she would do is, like, she would do the worst that she could possibly do to get herself fired. Like, she wouldn't show up for days, you know. Or she would show up late. She didn't care about this. So for me, I've always said it's like Meghan Markle. It's like when, and I've always made this comparison. I did an interview with Kinsey Schofield, and Kinsey Schofield said, "Can I use that comparison?" Because I said to her, "This is like if you're a homeless person, but you want to eat at that 5-star Michelin star what you call it restaurant.
Yeah.
You know you have no money. You manage to get a suit, and you walk in there, and you start looking for every excuse in the book in order to get out of there without having to pay."
Yeah.
And that's what she did. And this is why I said that the royal family made it hard for her, because they gave her everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at what she said in her things, the things that she said, I mean, they were stupid. I mean, they took away my passport. No, they didn't. She was traveling everywhere.
Yeah. I know.
You know,
none of it makes sense. And if you're under distress while you're pregnant, and that institution is so unsupportive, why was the institution why was HR the first thing she thought of when she was having those dark thoughts while she was pregnant? That never made sense to me either. You're considered a geriatric high risk pregnancy. I am sure that she had a team of private doctors. Why wasn't the call to the private doctors? Why would she first think to reach out to the HR department of an institution which she thought was so against her? Make any of this make sense? None of it makes sense.
And you know, it's so funny when I started talking about this. I just heard Neil Sean, for example, talk about, oh, why Meghan? Nobody believes that. And, you know, this story's sus. And I kept saying about it, you know, like I've been talking about this for a long time. I don't understand why people are not pointing out. It's that this woman, I had my son through epidural because I had a C-section. Henrik had to be delivered earlier. So it was like, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, like you can't get up. They have to make sure that you have, you're able to pee, to poo, those even most stupid things, but they have to make sure that you're able to do that, you know, before they let you go, to make sure there's no nerve damage. And nobody was questioning that. But now everybody's questioning it. Now everybody's like, oh my God, like it's brand new news, you know, like, and I'm like,
they're not asking the questions in the mainstream media. It really seems like only the independent so-called mommy sleuths are the ones that have been actually asking basic questions. And it's entirely fair to ask them. We're being treated as if it's unfair to ask, even think to ask these questions. How dare we? You know?
No, and the thing is, though, I can't find the clip because I had the clip here, but I was saying, when I did that, like I was talking about it, and I said, like anybody, just the things that are absolutely wrong, you know, like Pidina started doing a series, guys, which I highly recommend. She posted that video yesterday about the lies, just to debunk the lie that she didn't know about Harry. I mean, Pidina could have shown even more because I sent her some, but it's just so long, so many receipts that she's lying. You know what I mean? So many receipts that she's lying. And
what about
to
the
me,
interview? What about that interview? Remember, I don't know what it was for, but it was when she was still on Suits, and they asked her, "Oh, pick a brother, quick, William or Harry." You remember that interview?
yes, it's Hello Vogue magazine, and I'm going to show you guys this thing here. Here, I'm going to show you this because this is the guy from the Dater's Handbook, right? Remember that the narrative and this is one of the things, I've shown this clip quite a few times, and yet the mainstream media is not picking on it. You know, the mainstream media, nobody wants to pick on it. And I've shown this clip quite a few times because this is very telling. This tells you that Harry and Meghan are lying. And this also confirms Camilla Tominey, that Camilla Tominey is the first one that broke the story on October 31st on 2016 that Harry was dating actress Meghan Markle. Camilla Tominey always refused to say who her source was. So, but then Meghan gives herself away. Meghan gives herself away because this guy gives this interview. He recorded Dater's Handbook, I think something it's called like that, in November and December 2015, right? And then and he's with the Dater's Handbook, and then he says that, and you're gonna listen to because I played it, and yet the media is not picking on this. The media doesn't want to pick on it. So this is why I tell you that the media and even big YouTubers are biased in many ways, because this is gold. This is gold, like to have this guy, like saying that Meghan told him that she met this guy. She had dumped Corey Vitiello, which is not true. She was still with Corey Vitiello at least until the end of July. And then, but this guy is saying that, that Meghan had dumped Corey in January, which is a lie. She spent New Year's with Corey Vitiello in Iceland. I've shown the pictures. I've done it with Tomiyuki, that they were in Iceland at one of Corey Vitiello's friends' wedding. And then he was taking care of her dogs. They spent Easter together because of the pictures of Instagram, And this guy tells that Meghan Markle told him that she had met a guy in February, and then she went radio silent. And then in October 31st, she texted him out of the blue and said that a story is about to break of her dating Prince Harry, which is the guy she had met back in February, which means that Meghan Markle was going through her entire book or her entire contact list telling people, watch the story, because she wanted this story out. Unfortunately, nobody picked it, but I thought we could watch it. I'm just going to mute it.
Tell me the movie again that you did with Meghan Markle.
Yeah, it's called A Dater's Handbook.
Okay. And that was 6 months before she met Harry?
Literally, yeah.
Was she on Suits? So she was on Suits.
She was still on Suits. I liked her. I had a great time with her. We had fun. Yeah. I think she's cool. She's whip smart.
Did you think this woman should be a princess?
I mean,
she's going to do well. Wasn't she married before?
She was. She was married and she had been divorced. And then when I met her, she was dating this guy in Toronto that she wasn't that into. And I was like, why are you dating a guy you're not that into? Like, you just got out of a marriage you weren't that into. Like,
yeah,
go be free. So she texted me and she's like, I took your advice. I broke up with the guy.
Now I'm free.
Footloose and fancy free. And I was like, good for you. And then our movie aired in February. And then in March, she's like, hey, I met somebody. I was like, that's quick.
She just said, I met somebody.
Yeah. She's like, I met somebody. And then radio silence until October. And then in October, I get my last text from Meghan Markle that she was like, the news is going to break today.
Yeah.
The guy that I met is Prince Harry. I'm like, holy shit. And she's like, I'm bouncing. I don't think I cleared the friend list. I didn't vet.
Wait. No. Because I would have heard if you went to the royal wedding.
I didn't go. Our agent did though. Nick was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Spectacular. You
Interesting.
But nobody's picking on it because they said that they met for the first time in July. I haven't heard another YouTuber talk about this.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't? This
No.
was 3 months ago. You haven't been watching my videos, Jennifer. I have a bone to pick with you.
I can't see every single one, but yeah. But think about it too. My first thought was when she said, "Oh, I texted him and said that I dumped the guy." Imagine how Corey must feel hearing that.
Oh, never mind that she wasn't that into him. And then he goes, why do you marry men you're not into? And she was telling me, and you know that the director of Suits, I'm going to post this because people have to know how skanky this woman is, okay? And I'm sorry I'm using that term. Suits director, just 1 second. Can you can keep talking while you're talking about what he just said, because there's quite a few things to unpack there.
Well, I mean, that was the first big thing that came out at me. I mean, that the fact that, someone like Corey would hear something like that. And I mean, I think I had read by all accounts that he thought he was going to marry this girl. She had met his family. She had spent time with his family. I guess apparently the mom really liked her. Apparently the relationship had progressed to the point that I think Corey probably thought there was some type of future, but yet
they were engaged.
Yeah. Oh, they were they technically? I don't know.
Yeah, they were engaged. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So obviously Corey thought the relationship was headed in one direction. And then what if he heard this podcast from 3 months ago? What was probably, I mean, not that he probably cares now, but I mean, that that's still a betrayal. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, this is Suits director Tim Matheson that says this is. I'm going to read you the part. It was odd, he goes, because she was engaged to somebody else when he met her. Matheson explained, and and he met her in June, July 2016. So this is that he directed one episode or a couple of episodes because it was odd, He said Matheson told Fox News Digital that he, along with the rest of the world, was surprised when Buckingham Palace announced Meghan's engagement to Britain's Prince Harry in 2017. It was odd because she was engaged to somebody else when I met her.
So I guess that's why they have always been so vague about the actual date that they met. That's why they've been so vague this entire time. Do you remember in the engagement interview when when she was asking, was it a setup? Oh yes, it was a setup, but let's, keep her privacy and not. I think it obviously benefits them to have all these different narratives out there as to exactly when they met.
And I'm going to show you something because I don't know if you've seen this because I did a timeline of this of Harry. I just want to look at this. This is 2015. I want to show you this, and then I'm gonna. But it's interesting how she lied. So and somebody asked her why was she calling people telling about that article because she wanted it to be big news.
Yeah.
Okay, she wanted it to be big news, and she wanted to let the world know that she was dating Prince Harry. Okay. So let me just pull this because it shows you the duplicity. And let's not forget, she was also dating or screwing Rory McIlroy, also the two hockey players. She was also yachting because we have seen the tweets on yachting days.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was. Yep. And what is it? Istanbul. I'm gonna because Meghan Markle was in Istanbul. She was in Istanbul there for the opening of the Soho House, right? So I'm going to show you this because I don't know if you've seen this. I want to show you something because this is very interesting. I've done videos about this, guys. This is the list of official engagements that Prince Harry had while he was a working royal, right? So on April 24th and 25th, which was a weekend, they flew to Turkey. Prince Harry joined his father, Prince Charles, to attend commemorations of the centenary of Gallipoli campaign. But they actually used that to attend because also Prince Charles attended the opening of Soho House because he's very good friends with Ron Burkle, the owner of Soho House. So resurfaced snaps show Meghan Markle and Eddie Redmayne at Soho House, Istanbul, year before they partied at the club. This is her because she was there that weekend as well in 2015 in Turkey. And Eddie Redmayne was a friend of Harry's because he went to Eton as well.
So when do you think, Paula, was the exact month and year that they met? Then?
Well, I believe that they probably met, but she wasn't Harry's type. He had just broken up with Cressida. He was, he was heartbroken, or they were like, this is Meghan here, guys, because she was trying to be. She was even friends with Millie McIntosh because she wanted to be in the reality TV thing of Made in Chelsea. So she was befriending these people because that's where she wanted to go. She was, this woman. Yeah.
And I think Millie McIntosh even was quoted in some article saying that she was ghosted as well, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
So she was flying across the Atlantic doing those things, saying those things, and this is, I don't know if you read this article from Dear Media.
Wait, which one?
Dear Media? Have you ever read that article?
Is it about that podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Refresh my memory.
No, Dear Media, we've seen the article of the woman who received the handwritten letter by Meghan, right?
Oh yes. What is her name?
Amanda Hirsch. And people were wondering where it's odd that it doesn't have how did she get her address? right?
Right.
But then when
Because
you read,
they don't mention it. They just said, oh yeah, she got it. Well, she had to have her address, but where? From where?
okay, but if you know Amanda Hirsch, that's not really her podcast. It's produced by this huge, really, really savvy company called Dear Media, of which Chris
Yeah.
Jenner is involved in. This is their media, this podcaster, they are their producer. She's just the face. This is why she was able to interview Ryan Reynolds, and she's Blake Lively stan, like she's pro Blake Lively and stuff like that, and she gets to interview like proper people, but that's not because she is famous. It's because Dear Media is the producer
Yeah.
of the show.
I think she had Kourtney Kardashian on as well. I
Yes,
think I heard.
Chloe
Yeah.
Kardashian.
Chloe. Okay.
So that, but the way the press put it, spun it, was like, oh my God, this girl was anti-Meghan. No, she has never been anti-Meghan. This article was written by Dear Media on March 6, 2025. I've been doing my last lives have been about this. And it's what's everybody's problem with Meghan Markle now. Basically, this is like, I mean, before her Netflix show even premiered, it was postponed due to the Los Angeles, and this was a ghost written article. I have to say allegedly, guys, for legal reasons, by Meghan Markle. But when you hear the wording, before her Netflix show even premiered, it was postponed due to the Los Angeles wildfires when they hit.
Give me a break about that, for seriously.
Meghan and Prince Harry didn't flounce around Montecito waiting for the moment to pass. They were out in Los Angeles helping real people in real time. The Sussexes got involved while the British royal family continued their grand tradition of doing nothing useful. Meghan was on the ground offering support and helping. She and Harry weren't just there for the photo ops. They were out there comforting victims and making tangible efforts to assist. Meghan even teamed up with Billie Eilish to help a teen who lost everything in the fires, gifting her some merch to bring a little light to a terrible situation. You can practically hear the pearl clutching across from the pond. How dare she be so thoughtful and generous? But sure, let's act like she's the villain here. What do you have to say about this?
First of all, being postponed due to the fires, I'm sorry, I never bought that. I mean, if that was the case, then I guess every theatrical production coming out of Hollywood would have had to have been postponed. I mean, come on, really? She saw that as an opportunity to maybe go back and do some choice editing that she probably knew she had to do. Because I did a video about that when it happened. I was born in Pasadena. Okay. I grew up in Southern California. So to see her merch that tragedy for me was also just really, really upsetting. And for her to say that it was postponed due to the fires, that was even more upsetting. It had nothing to do with the fires. It had to do with the reception that initial trailer received. You remember the reception that trailer received? The like to dislike ratio. I mean, now we've all seen the show. We've all made videos on it. We've all commented about how vapid and inauthentic it feels. But that was even before we had even seen the show. That was just the little 1.5 minute trailer that she was being roasted for. And she knew it. So I think those fires came about and then she took her opportunity, or I don't know, maybe she, pursued it with Netflix, or maybe Netflix pursued it with her. But I think that's when they went back and tried to make fixes, tried to make edits. I don't know what it was like before they probably did that, but I don't know. It was terrible.
But look at the things that she's saying, that they were running and on like the royal family, they were doing real stuff. And I mean, and then
the royal family is in the UK doing things that are privy to the UK. I mean, I don't understand what the writer is trying to insinuate with that particular opinion.
That Meghan is doing stuff unlike the royal family. That's what they're trying to do. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because this is the same girl that received the letter. You will understand why I don't understand why she got shocked, because then you can see the hatred that she teamed up with Billie Eilish. She didn't team up with Billie Eilish. She doesn't know Billie Eilish, but this is where the spin goes, that she teamed up with Billie Eilish. No, she couldn't even buy it herself. Okay.
Billie Eilish gave a concert. She gave a concert to benefit it. And she didn't need to do that. I made a video on that. Her people at WME probably called Billie's people. She didn't need to make the Instagram video where she had all of the props of the t-shirt and the lunchbox and everything set up. All of that could have been done behind the scenes. There is no reason to call attention to something like that unless you want people Yeah.
And we don't know who the girl is because then she didn't follow that up, did it? I didn't see any girl come forward and say, because probably the girl would be embarrassed that her priorities are a t-shirt from Billie Eilish when her whole life has been burnt down, which
Yeah.
is a lie.
And yeah. And do you remember how many people, myself included, were questioning those motives too? And we were saying, you really mean to tell me that a woman that she would have encountered just, going through the ruins, she met this woman and the woman's going to tell her about her grief over a t-shirt? I mean, none of it rang true. None of it made sense.
Now, during this same article, she has this thing called the Kate Middleton hypocrisy. And it says, speaking of, let's talk about the inevitable Kate Middleton comparisons. When With Love, Meghan hit Netflix top 10 for like less than a second, and I can guarantee you that that was only in the US, and that's because Netflix put it there. The first thing the royalists started squawking about was that Kate married for love, while Meghan married for status and money. This is interesting considering Kate never had a real job, which is a lie, followed William around throughout university, and even changed her major to be closer to him. The woman dedicated her entire early adulthood to securing that ring, even as the men plowed through countless aristo girls and college flings, earning her the Weighty Katie nickname. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle, listen to this. Meghan Markle had an actual career before meeting Harry and downgraded her life to go live in antiquated royal accommodations because she genuinely loved him. She downgraded her life.
Well, that's their opinion, isn't it? Downgraded her life. Okay. Sure, Jan.
No, but can you imagine the narcissism of this woman that she considers being with the royal family a downgrade?
Well, don't you remember she wrote on her blog, it was kind of a backhanded compliment where she was just basically saying that, I never envisioned myself a princess. I always envisioned myself as Shira, princess of power, as if to say being a titled royal princess is beneath her. So she's always tried to throw that narrative out there that it's somewhat beneath her. She's such a wonderful, down-to-earth human being that titles aren't important to her. It's just the love of her man. And it's just like, come on.
But there is one thing though that is it's so funny because I'm going to show you something here, guys. I just posted, I recorded it this morning and I uploaded it to my ex, but I'm going to show it right now in real time because, this is Tyler Perry's Instagram account, right? So he's following 121 people. I'm sure he's following Meghan now. Maybe he's following us ever. Maybe he's following us ever.
Type in American Riviera Orchard. Oh, wait.
It doesn't appear. It doesn't appear anymore because no, he wasn't either. He has American Center because American Riviera Orchard doesn't exist. So he's not following his goddaughter's mother, the one that he gave her his house to. He's not following her on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Bless him. Bless him. Do you think that if he could have a time machine and go back in time, he would want to associate himself with these two?
Yes, because he wants
Really?
that. Yes, he wants the association. He is for, if he were sincere, he would have said, I'm not going to be the godfather to a princess because I hate the royal family. Didn't he say when he was on the Netflix thing, that those people, those colonialists. So why did he agree to be the godfather to somebody wearing a title of somebody who's titled like that, Harry?
Or how about I don't want to be a godfather to a stranger's couple's child, because a godfather, a godparent in the Catholic Church, in Christian churches, that's supposed to be a very, very serious role. A godparent is someone that takes over the religious education for the child in the event that something happens to both of the parents. That's what the whole idea of a godparent is supposed to be. You're supposed to guide your godchild in religious formation. Now, I know that that term nowadays means more of like a friendship type of thing where it's, I'm going to make my best friend or, whoever my godfather or my godmother. But in all actuality, that's what it's supposed to be. And even if you don't look at it from a religious point of view, Harry himself said on that Freedom Flight video, we're flying over by the grace of a practical stranger, but who believes in us. We all know who he was referring to, right?
Yeah. And this is the thing. I'm gonna show you this article. It says, and yet somehow it's Meghan who's the social climber. The British tabloids immediately manufacture comparisons between the fundamentally different women, pointing out that Kate is an avid beekeeper, which, funny enough, is something we had never heard about until Meghan visited an apiary. That is absolute bullshit. Catherine was shown in Anmer Hall years ago with bees. You know what I mean? Meghan is the one who's doing it just now. And let's not forget the petty sneering about King Charles' line of preserves, because who doesn't want a spoonful of royal mediocrity to help medicine go down? And then she goes, ironically, sales of this jam only increased after Meghan announced her line, proving once again that even the British monarchy profits off her influence. Instead of slamming Meghan with baseless accusations, looking at you, Jason Knopf. This is absolutely Meghan Markle writing this.
That's not baseless. He was in direct contact with those people that had those bullying grievances against her. How is that baseless?
And not only that, he had the text messages also between him and Meghan Markle that proved that she was lying when she said she wasn't in contact with Carolyn and Omid.
And
so this is
when Harry was writing emails to Jason saying, we need to make it seem like this, we need to make it seem like that. I mean, Jason Knopf operated in good faith, with these two for quite a long time before he finally, I'm sure, saw enough, heard enough, and had enough to write that email and say, hey, this is what's going on here,
Yeah, and this is the thing. This is what I tell you. And then they said, this is her way of clapping back at everything we YouTubers have been saying after the show aired, right? They should send thank you notes to Madame Duchess for putting their products on the map. Maybe if they ask nicely, Meghan will teach them to do so in calligraphy. First, she would have to learn how to write calligraphy. And this is the thing, the name controversy. This is a very important part that I did a video about it. And I said that only the king, because it's true, only the monarch can determine the name of the house, of the royal house, and the last name of members of the royal blood royals, whether they're titled or not. He is the one who decides their last name. Okay.
And didn't Philip and the Queen say that they wanted their royal surname to be Mountbatten Windsor?
Yes. For their descendants. Okay.
Yes.
The rest of them that are not descended from the union of Prince Philip and the Queen, they call themselves Windsor. Yeah. So and then they go, and then there's the latest outrage: Meghan embracing her married name and calling herself Meghan Sussex in With Love, Meghan. And because I did that video, I'm pretty sure she watched it, because she says, are we seriously dissecting how a woman introduces herself? The British media, it's losing its collective mind over this, as if Meghan's decision to embrace her chosen, that's the name she's choosing, which she can't choose that name she can choose it for her, but not for her sons or Harry. Mm-hmm. If Harry wants to use a different last name, he would lose the royal title, because he has to use, if he wants to use the last name, it has to be Mountbatten Windsor. If he says, I'm not going to use Mountbatten Windsor, then he loses the royal title. Maybe they can explain that to me like I'm 5. What's the big deal? So you see, he says here, maybe the decision, her chosen family name, is somehow a personal affront to King Charles himself. Maybe they can explain it to me like I'm 5. What's the big deal? If folks, listen to this, if folks can accept calling the British royal family Windsor when their real last name is Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, they will surely not suffer too much if they have to call this little family Harry and Meghan Sussex.
But they're forgetting that in 1917, George V, said, no, we are now House of Windsor. We're not going to use our Germanic name anymore.
Yeah, and look at this dig, because you can tell that her ass is burning. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew, he of Epstein infamy, still gets to be called His Royal Highness in public while doing walkabouts with the family. And nobody seems particularly bothered by that. Make it make sense. So this is Meghan Markle, because she's angry she doesn't get to be called Her Royal Highness. And, this is why that woman pretending to get that envelope and she didn't know who that was from. When Dear Media is the very same production company producing her podcast, and 2 days later they wrote this article, ghostwritten by Meghan, and then she fakes that. Oh my God, I'm a fan for life. What do you think of that?
I mean, there's just so many connections. She wants us to think, Paula, that all of these associations, that everything she does is just so organic, that she's reaching out to somebody organically, and it's just this wonderful moment that she's just gifting this wonderful letter. I mean, did you read that letter? I thought that letter was a little creepy myself. It was very cryptic. It was, as if to say, oh, wait, the best is yet to come. I mean, that to me just seemed very trolling.
It sounded like a threat.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's everything is calculated. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose. I mean, in her mind, I really do believe that. There can't be any type of normal organic exchange. Everything has to be kind of it's almost like currency. Everything has to be an exchange with this person. It's just
And this is directly from the royal family's website.
Mm-hmm.
This is in 1960. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh decided that they would like their own direct descendants to be distinguished from the rest of the royal family without changing the name of the royal house.
Yes.
As Windsor is the surname used by all the male and unmarried female descendants of George V. It was therefore declared in the Privy Council that the Queen's descendants, other than those with the style of Royal Highness and the title of Prince, Princess, or female descendants who marry would carry the name Mountbatten Windsor. Okay, and then it says here, unless the Prince of Wales chooses to alter the present decisions when he becomes king, he will continue to be of the House of Windsor, and his grandchildren and the rest of his descendants will use the surname Mountbatten Windsor.
Yes.
So this is why I said that she's watching us, because I said very firmly that only the monarch can determine. The monarch would need to make a letters patent, making an exception for Harry.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that because, for example, the Wales's children and that Prince Harry and William used Wales while they were going to school, that she's going to look at that and say, well, if they can do that, if you can call them the Cambridges or you can call them the Waleses, then why can't I say Sussex?
No, because they're not claiming that their last name. There's a big difference. And Harry and William are actually in an interview saying that they decided to use Harry Wales and Prince Wales because they wanted to blend in. But when Prince Andrew and Prince Charles went into the army, the military UK, they were by their titles. But Harry and William said no, but that's not their family name, like Meghan claims. There's a big difference between saying it informally. And I've heard some YouTubers say, oh, she can use Sussex. No. For example, the Wales are known as the Waleses because that is their title. Okay, that is their title, but that's not their last name. And I'm going to show you this because Prince
and technically they should not be using those titles over here in America. They should not be. They shouldn't be using them, and they shouldn't be monetizing them. The Queen was very clear about this.
Exactly. And I'm going to show you this because Prince William registered the Royal Foundation in the United States in 2021, sorry. And guess at the name he used is His Royal Highness William Arthur Philip Lewin Mountbatten Windsor, the Duke Mountbatten Windsor, the Duke of Cambridge, and Her Royal Highness Catherine Elizabeth Mountbatten Windsor.
Yes. So you're saying on all official documentation for record, it is Mountbatten Windsor.
Yeah, well, this is in the United States because they know that in the United States
we don't recognize titles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, and so they used Mountbatten Windsor. So for those, I don't understand why those YouTubers are saying it's perfectly okay that Meghan can claim. And the fact in that article that she recognizes, in this article that I'm showing you, that she admits that what's the big problem with the name when she says that here. Because she says she made a decision to embrace her chosen family name. She's choosing Sussex for the entire family. She can't do that. She can choose it for herself. And then she goes and claps back and says, if folks can accept calling the British family Windsor, why can't they accept that they call themselves now Sussex?
What's
Because
in a name? Well, you didn't even want your son. Remember, before he was even born, they supposedly didn't even want him to have a title. They didn't want him to have royal association. They wanted him to be normal, right? Do you remember that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what she wanted, and this is what she clapped back at Oprah, is the fact that her kids were not, because I don't know if you know the letters. We're going to quickly show you this, guys, because you probably don't know this. I've done a video about it, but I don't know if you've seen it. This is very important for people to understand what Meghan Markle was talking about. And when she was saying about the George Convention, this is how stupid this woman was, that she couldn't even talk properly. Okay. Because you see, in 1917, it was declared that George V revoked what Queen Victoria had, which basically all her relatives were prince and princess and royal highnesses. But during the war, they said, you know what, we're not going to do that, because they reached an agreement that the royal family was broke. What saved them from bankruptcy was they got to be supported by the people. That's when that deal came about. So he said that we're going to limit who can be called prince and princess and her royal highnesses. So he said it's only the sons of the monarch, the male and female daughter and sons of the monarch, the sons of them and daughters of the male descendants of the monarch, and it stops with the grandson with the firstborn of the Princess of Wales.
Yeah, because it was a little out of control there for a while before George V did this. I mean, Queen Victoria herself was the grandmother of Europe. I mean,
pretty much, yeah, yeah. So what George V said is that the title of Royal Highness and Prince or Princess stopped with the grandchild of the first grandchild of the Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
So that means that only George would have been entitled to have his Royal Highness and Prince title, and Charlotte and Louis would have been Lady and Lord Mountbatten Windsor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what the Queen did, and this is why Meghan was so angry, is that in 2012, the Queen has been pleased by letters patent under the Great Seal of the Realm, dated 13 December 2012, to declare that all the children of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, she didn't say of both children.
The eldest, meaning George.
No, the eldest son is Prince William.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Of the monarch. Yeah.
Instead of her saying of both sons of the Prince of Wales should have and enjoy the title, style, and attribute of Royal Highness and Prince and Princess titles. Because this is why Meghan was so angry, because the Queen singled out Prince William. Because when this letters patent was issued, Charles was Prince of Wales, right? So
that's the way monarchy works. It is a hierarchy. I mean, why is this so difficult to understand? This isn't a personal vendetta on her and Harry.
But
they are not constitutionally relevant. And I don't understand why they don't get it. You know what I mean?
I know, I get it, but this is why she was so angry, because this is what she was trying to say to Oprah. If they did it for William, why couldn't they do it for my kids? She saw herself
as equal,
not even as an equal, because now we know she downgraded herself, but as even higher.
Correct.
So this is her gripe. This is her gripe, that the Queen made this exception for William, but she didn't make it for her, and she considers herself to be above all of them.
But even if that were to be true, which we all know it wasn't, the Queen was not that type of woman. That was done in 2012 before she even came on the scene. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so, and to this day, have they walked back those accusations? Have they walked back? The general American public, I can tell you right now, had no idea about these types of things. They had no idea. All they knew was that, what? William's children and not Harry's children? What? It's got to be because Meghan's biracial. It's like, give me a break, you know?
And the Queen is descendant of 2 Black queens to begin with, you know?
Yes.
It's so stupid. I mean, I wonder if Meghan Markle I wonder what box. Well, I know that for a fact that she hasn't been able to enroll Archie in any school because she's refusing to provide the vaccine records to the schools.
Well, we all know she's not homeschooling. So does she have someone probably in there homeschooling her kids? Interesting.
I don't know, but she is not. She's not. She hasn't been able to enroll them because she doesn't want to provide the vaccine records, which is mandatory in all schools in the United States, pretty much worldwide. So the kid
Mm-hmm.
is not being to any school because she says that, oh, you know what, if somebody leaks it, schools don't leak those records. Those are HIPAA violations, you know.
How many
And
times have you called those California offices, Paula, wanting to get a birth certificate?
7 times. And I got
Interesting.
emails back. I don't know if you watched that infamous live they did about me trying to take my channel down when they said that wasn't true and blah, 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 that it was a HIPAA violation to ask for records when it's actually legal in California to ask for a
Mm-hmm.
certified copy. But they black out things and they put copy cannot be
Yeah.
used for anything. 7 times I showed the emails because I complained and I said, listen, I've paid $43 each time. And I know for a fact that these records are out there. And then when you complain, you get an email back. And the lady said, can you send us any documentation or go to the county itself where the child is, because the central records are not here. And this is 2 years on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I downloaded one of those, the one that TMZ has, you know, the thing, and a couple one that some other sugars have put out of Lily. And I attached it and I sent it to her. Right. And I said, okay, because I don't have any other documents. I don't have any other documents, you know, like, but I have this because they said, do you have any other documents that you can prove that this child, so we can search it? And when I sent her the copy of, because, you know, that's what's in the press, according to TMZ, they got that from the registry, which is a lie, because Harry's there like the Duke of Sussex, His Royal Highness. That's absolute bullshit. So the lady said, we're going to give you a certificate of the CNR, no registry found, or something like that, you know. And they said, we're going to do the 8th search for free, send us documentation. And then when they couldn't come up with anything, then they searched under the last name Rachel Meghan Markle. And this is when I even showed the email I got back. You know, the email said that they had found a record of Rachel Meghan Markle given birth. I think it was in 1997. I have to go back to the email and take a look at it. 1997, 1996. But that they couldn't disclose anything more because those records had been sealed December 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
How easy would it have been to say, you know what, we weren't clear. It's when Charles ascended, then our children would carry the title Prince and Princess. We are sorry for any misunderstanding. We're not trying to insinuate that because of the color of our children's skin that they were not to receive titles.
But the kids are white. Aren't they both ginger?
Right. But that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, oh, they were concerned about the color of the, really? They were they?
Well, Harry was. He went on the Stephen Colbert interview. And did you watch that interview that he gave at Stephen Colbert?
No,
interview?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you have it? Oh, Jennifer, you have to talk about that. Because if there was somebody wondering what color their baby whose genes were going to prevail, it was Harry. He said during Stephen Colbert, you know, that before he knew whether his relationship with Meghan was going to go the distance, he was wondering whether his genes were going to prevail over her genes. This is when they were just dating. He's admitting in Stephen Colbert. And I'm surprised that no other YouTuber or I'm the only one talking about this too. Nobody's picking up on that. Because it's like he says that on Stephen Colbert, that before his relationship went the distance with Meghan Markle, before he knew that they were going to get serious, he was already weighing in whose genes were going to be prevail. And then he goes, but those ginger genes are so strong.
Yeah. But I mean, how many people have come out of all different colors and said, how normal is it for people of different races when they have children to speculate before the birth of a child?
I did. I've done videos about it.
I've heard everyone from Lady C to, they're all saying that it's a very normal conversation to have. It's not meant to be, with malice, or it's not meant to be something that is just a horrid thing to say. People are just naturally curious. They just want to know. And they say things like, oh, I wonder if the baby's going to have your hair, or is the baby going to have your skin? Is the baby going to have your eyes? That's just a basic thing that couples and families talk about. It is not intended to be malicious, and it's not intended to be the R word.
This is really funny because when Princess Catherine was pregnant with George, this is CNN, guys. This is the CNN website. What and who will the royal baby look like? Can you imagine? And what I'm about to read you, can you imagine if they had said this about Meghan? If CNN had done an article about Meghan speaking the way they're going to speak about this right now. Whenever a new baby's on the way, the family can't help but speculate on what the little one might look like. Will he or she have straight hair like that or curly hair like mom? Be tall like Aunt Susan or short and stubby like Uncle Leroy? When the new arrival is the future king or queen of England, more than just the family wants to know. Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, is reportedly due to give birth July 13th, and the world will watch as the baby grows up. Will he or she turn out to have blue eyes like Prince William or green ones like Catherine? Be light hair like Dad or dark hair like Mom? Will Prince Charles' ear be passed on to a future generation? Online bets are already being placed on the child's hair color. Whatever happens, this baby might stand out genetically among royals because his mother is the first commoner to marry into the royal family since the 17th century. Yes. And then they go, marriage within a relatively small gene pool like the royals means a bad gene has a pretty good chance of rearing its ugly head. Well, and they talk about that. But this is the part that it is very good that they're bringing in new genes, said Dr. Anand Sagar, a consultant in the Southwest. He's an expert, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes down. Catherine's commoner genes might lead to somewhat darker skinned baby.
And they don't even use that term anymore in today's culture. Now, this is what, 2013? Yes. They rarely use that word commoner anymore. And just like you just said before you read this, can you imagine for a microsecond if they would have used the word commoner in an article like this about Meghan? People, the press would have lost, or, the woke people would have lost their minds. But
here they're talking that the kid's going to be darker skin. And then the royals, he explained, are pretty pale. We're talking about skin color here, guys.
Yeah.
Catherine's skin has a considerably more olive tone, and the baby will likely be somewhere between the two, but more like Catherine because her genes are dominant over lighter ones. The odds are the child will have darker skin color than the royals might be used to. The same is true for eye color. The chances that the baby will have true blue eyes like William's are relatively unlikely. Most like the guy who was going, will be the shade closer to Catherine, which is true. All the kids have darker eye color. With hair color, there are basically 4 options, like that, light like that, dark like Mom, a shade in between the two, or red like the baby's Uncle Harry. Okay? He says that it's possible... Stockard said it's possible to calculate the odds of a redhead. Based on the fact that William's brother, Prince Harry, is a ginger, there's a 66% chance that William carries a gene for red hair. He said, but less is known about Catherine's heritage, but assuming it's similar to the genes of other British people, he calculates there's a 6% chance the baby will have red hair. And yet here we have Meghan, both kids, 100% according to her, ginger hair.
Mm-hmm. Ginger with blue eyes, mind you. Blue eyes
blue,
as well.
Blue
eyes as well.
So can you imagine if this article had been written about Meghan Markle's kid?
No, I can't. Her people would have lost their mind. And just to even say Meghan Markle, a commoner, would have probably set them just wanting to just, burn the place down. How dare you call her a commoner? Kate put up with a lot of abuse for a lot of years.
Yeah, I have a video. I have a few videos, guys, but I can't show them here because you can hear the paparazzi. I mean, they call her "See you next Tuesday" when she was walking alone when she was dating Prince William, and she went through an airport, and they called her "See you next Tuesday."
You mean yell it to her?
Yeah, she was walking and then and all kinds of things. And, we know how you like to spread your legs and, do you take it up, where, and all kinds of things just to see her react.
Yeah.
They were not rude. Like Meghan Markle said, rude and racist is different.
Or not the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody was rude. Nobody was racist to her. Nobody was even rude to her because, everybody was terrified because of their Everybody was getting canceled. I got canceled.
They were bending over backwards to accommodate her. Look at, didn't the Queen give her the patronage with the Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah, she
Because
was at the theater, or the
the
theater.
drama. Yeah. Bend it over backwards
Yeah. Yeah.
for her.
So I don't know if you want me to send you these articles, because I think it's very interesting that we talk about this, and you can show this, and because the lady from I called the palace, and because I was confused about the name, right? Because I was watching so many people, but then I'm reading the letters patent, but I hear other YouTubers saying no, she can call Sussex because it's a custom. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to be wondering who's, because I am reading, and in no document, this is what the lady said to me, no document there says it's okay to use the title as the last name. In no place in any of the written thing it said that the title is the family name. It's very written there. And when I did my video, I said that Meghan I remember I made a mistake in the video, and she sent me an email because I sent her my video. When they sent me, she sent me some links, which is the links with the letters patent and stuff like that, and the link to the royal family's name, stuff. She was very kind. So I sent her the link of my video, and she said, you made a mistake. So in the next video, I corrected it, because Meghan Markle can call herself Mountbatten Windsor as a married name if she wants that.
Yes, as a married name. But they aren't working royals. And even if they did say Harry and William Wales when they were in school, they were titled royal family members. They're not supposed to be titled, nor are they supposed to be using those titles here. It doesn't apply,
Yeah, we have to have you back, Jennifer, and I'm going to send you I'm going to talk to Pidina to have her on your show, because it's amazing, guys. Go check her channel because you have such great content. So please go subscribe to her. And also to Cressida Bonus, go subscribe to her Instagram thing, because I think you should subscribe too, because she answers, that she answers, comments.
Oh, nice.
She answered to my comments. She personally answered comments, and she thanks you, so that's cool. That's Jennifer's channel. So please go subscribe to her. And I love your content. I think you're great. And I'm really grateful, and I hope you can come back. I'm doing lives on weekends, and this is Lessons from Our Mothers from Cressida. She's an absolutely lovely woman, she's amazing, she just go watch. She answers everybody. And Buckeye,
there's your comment, Paula. There it is.
Yeah. And she replied, she said, lovely, thank you for sharing. And I thanked her for the podcast. And Buckeye Business, thank you for going there and subscribing to her. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I can't believe
I wanted to thank you. Thank you for having me, and to all your lovely viewers and your people. Thank you for welcoming me.
Oh no, God, no! Thank you for coming, guys. Thank you for coming, and hopefully you'll come next weekend. We can have more people. I just wanted to have you today, because I thought it's great for people to get to know you. I'm very thankful that you came, and hopefully next weekend you can come. We'll have some other. We're gonna have Tina, or maybe Manuela. Yeah, because they're a lot of fun, And
is it Tuki Yumi? She's so cute. I love her.
Yeah, we can have Tomiyuki. Yeah, absolutely. I can ask Tomiyuki, if she's around, because sometimes she has bad connection. I know.
Yeah, she's spunky. I love her.
No. Yeah, sure. We can have Tomiyuki. We can actually do like a little royal chaos, that next Sunday. That'd be fun. But thanks for coming, Jennifer, and please go subscribe to her channel. She's amazing. You're being so generous. I was hoping to do like 1 hour lives, but we just got talking so much, So her channel is Jennifer.
That's what happened.
Her channel, her channel is Jennifer Christopherson. You should change it to Simple Beauty. The thing.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking of changing my channel name, because I've had that, but now because I'm a mix of so many different things, I'm trying to think of what to maybe change it to. I don't know.
You know what? Or just leave it with your name. That way you can talk about different things. I have Paula M channel because I just don't want to talk. I talk about crime. I
Yeah.
talk about all kinds of things. So, because I like, I'm going to do a video about Snow White. I don't know how you guys feel about Snow White. I'm so glad it tanked.
You know what? I worked at Disneyland for 7 years when I was in college.
You did?
Starting when I was in college. Yeah. Yeah. So it's sad to see the direction that Disney's taken in so many different projects. And I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard some reviews, and they're not kind. Let's put it that way.
No, they only made the movie cost, I don't know, hundreds of millions, and they only made 16, not even like 5 or some in the opening weekend. It's really, really bad. I don't even know why that girl had to open her mouth and said the things that she said.
And didn't I hear that they had a premiere, but they didn't invite the press?
No, because the
That's
press were
weird.
really, the
That's
people.
very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing a video about that because I don't know if people know this, but Snow White is based, it's a story in feudal times of a princess that was named Snow White because she was white as snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a German thing, and it's like, so why don't they do that, for example, can you imagine, why don't they portray Martin Luther King as a white dude, have Cillian Murphy play Martin Luther King?
Right? I know. Make it make sense. Nothing makes sense.
I don't know, but thank you for coming, guys, and you have a wonderful Sunday. And thank you, Jennifer. And I'm going to arrange a lot of a fun live for next Sunday, so you guys can look forward to it. I'm going to invite me and a couple of others, so we can be a bunch of girls just yapping away, just because there's going to be a lot, because Harry is in talks selling his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Selling his mother. Isn't that terrible? He's doing he is, and because stupidly enough, he has footage of, he was given a dossier by MI6 and stuff at Scotland Yard about his mother's death, and pictures that nobody's seen and stuff, and apparently he's in talks selling that with Netflix.
Can we please let that poor woman rest? Let her rest already. Why does he keep going with this? Everyone's tired of this. He needs to move on.
I mean, can you imagine? And I mean, he even has footage because he recorded Meghan. He recorded Meghan putting her hands on Prince. The thought that Meghan was, you know what? I kid you not, guys. It is vomit inducing. It is vomit inducing that this woman was around Queen Elizabeth, and that she was allowed to be in the grave of Princess Diana. Princess Diana would have kicked her ass out of.
Yes, a mom knows her kids, and a mom would have never allowed what happened to happen. But unfortunately, she was not around, so this is what we're stuck with now.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys next. I'll do a video tomorrow, and I'll see you guys. I'm doing a video about Big Mike. Do you know Big Mike? Big Mike.
Who's Big Mike?
Michelle Obama.
Oh. You're so bad. I love it.
Did you know that she has a YouTube channel?
She has a podcast, which apparently the numbers aren't there, or I don't know what's going on with that.
Only 17,000 followers, and the comment section is brutal. I'm actually looking forward to having Matt the Angry Bootneck, because he's holidaying in England, and he's absolutely savage. So I'm actually looking forward to having him, because we're going to go over the YouTube channel. Guys, only 17,000 followers. And this is a woman that has 63 million in her Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not good.
And before we go, please, guys, please pray. Please. Are you going to church? I'm going to church right now, and I'm going to go pray for the Cristiano wins, that they let him in, and that Portugal wins. Please, guys, I'm crossing all my fingers, and I'm burning so many candles today, in front of the Virgin Mary, because I want Cristiano to play and win.
I don't know anything about football overseas football, but I know he's a very good looking man. That's all I know.
He's an amazing player. He's
Yeah.
an amazing player. He's the best.
Yeah.
And he comes from such a poor family. Did you know that her mother, his
Self-made.
mother wanted to abort him because she was so poor and she got pregnant by accident. So she went to the doctor and tried to have an abortion. And doctor, and this is Madeira back then in Portugal. And the doctor said, absolutely not. You're having this baby.
Oh.
And yes, and then he had a heart problem, and she was operated at the age of 12. And he used to sweep the streets of Madeira, Portugal. And at the age of 11, he was sent to Lisbon, which is from this little island in Madeira. He's very family orientated, and he's such a Catholic, he's like, and he helps children. And I mean, do you know that he doesn't have a tattoo? I'm sorry, guys, you have to shut up and listen to this. Do you know why he doesn't like to have tattoos? Because he donates blood every 6 months. And you know that if you have a tattoo, you cannot donate blood because the ink and the needle, so you cannot donate blood for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he donates blood every 6 months. One of his fellow football players, or some football player, his daughter had leukemia. So he tested himself, and it turned out he was a bone marrow compatible.
Bone marrow match. Yeah.
And he donated, and the little girl is doing well. And
gosh, I need to look into him a little bit more. He sounds so wonderful.
Watch the Netflix, guys. Please go watch the Netflix thing with him. It's called, I don't know, wherever you are, they have either as Cristiano or Ronaldo. Don't watch Georgina. I don't like her. And he was like, I was shocked because I didn't like him before I watched that Netflix thing. And then you learned about his life, his values, and how it is. And you need to be mentally strong to tolerate the hate. And he believes in himself. He's not arrogant, So I love how he is with his mom, their relationship with his mom. I would give anything for Cressida to have Cristiano Ronaldo on her podcast. And she would break. I'm actually going to write to her, and I'm going to suggest that to her. So you love Cristiano. Thank you, Jose Duncan. Yes. And I'm going to be watching the game at the casual fan, because he promised on YouTube, because he's half Portuguese, he's Canadian. But, so yes, I love that, and that he donates, because footballers, they have a salary, but then they get bonuses. He donates all his bonuses to different children's causes. And he sponsors scholarships to universities from poor kids and stuff like that, with the bonuses, which are in the millions. So.
Wow. Yeah. So it sounds like he's the whole package there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, so have a great day, guys. And we'll see you next Sunday, Jennifer. And please go watch her channel, guys. Okay?
Thank you, Paula.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.